Welcome to the Clark County Emergency Food and Shelter Application webinar. This webinar will provide an overview of the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP. We will discuss local board funding priorities, allocations, agency eligibility, EFSP allowable expenditures, agency responsibilities, and the RFP/application instructions. Contact information for future questions will be provided at the end. Established in 1983, the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP, was designed to supplement and expand the work of local social service agencies, focusing on addressing economic emergencies and steering clear of a primary focus on chronic homelessness. EFSP has played a pivotal role in fortifying the endeavors of local social service agencies, providing essential support to individuals and families grappling with unforeseen economic challenges. By targeting economic emergencies, the program seeks to extend a timely lifeline to those on the verge of financial instability, fostering resilience and preventing chronic homelessness. EFSP has evolved into a cornerstone of social service initiatives, recognized for its strategic approach to mitigating the impact of financial crises. Its commitment to addressing the urgent needs arising from economic emergencies underscores its importance in the landscape of community welfare. FEMA chairs the National Board and awards the grants. United Way Worldwide is the Secretariat and Fiscal Agent for the National Board. All funding is distributed by the United Way Worldwide. Let's explore the vital roles of the National Board and local boards within the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP. The National Board selects jurisdictions for funding. This board employs a carefully crafted formula to ensure an equitable distribution of resources. So, what goes into the formula? Population metrics, unemployment rates, and other federal-level factors, including poverty data, are all considered. It's not just about numbers, it's about tailoring support to the unique needs of each community. Now that the National Board has made its strategic decisions, let's shift our focus to the critical role played by local boards within the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Local boards are convened in the selected jurisdictions, acting as the frontline decision-makers to determine the highest needs and the most effective use of funds. The local board considers prior year's grant performance when selecting awards. While past recipients are considered, there is no guaranteed selection, ensuring a competitive and fair process. Local boards set client eligibility criteria, ensuring that the assistance reaches those who need it the most. Their commitment doesn't end there, they also provide essential technical assistance to the selected LROs. Local boards actively monitor the usage of EFSP funds by LROs. They convene quarterly meetings to review expenditures, ensuring transparency and accountability. In cases where it's determined that an LRO is not utilizing the awarded funds properly or on time, local boards have the authority to reallocate funds. This proactive measure ensures that resources are optimally utilized to meet the program's objectives. LROs must comply with the decisions made by the local board, fostering a cohesive and collaborative approach to emergency food and shelter services. The Clark County Local Board has developed the following foundational statement. It is our fiduciary responsibility to timely disburse these dollars to the community through organizations that have existing programs and that have both the capacity and ability to efficiently and effectively use these funds. Among other things, our local board must ensure enhanced collaboration among community resources. It is our belief that the LROs should utilize EFSP funding to obtain optimal buying power for the services provided. The local board in Clark County has carefully crafted funding priorities, and one of these priorities is to ensure a geographically diverse reach across the entire county. The goal is clear: to provide funding to organizations that offer services throughout Clark County. The aim? To maximize accessibility to Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP, funds for as many community members as possible. Organizations with a county-wide reach are particularly encouraged to apply. The local board extends its invitation, emphasizing a special welcome to those serving in underserved communities or neighborhoods. A key requirement for local recipient organizations, LROs, is to be inclusive. They're not just encouraged but required to serve all eligible individuals or families. No limitations based on specific populations, it's about reaching and assisting everyone in need. The Clark County Local Board is committed to fostering a community-wide approach to EFSP, ensuring that support is comprehensive and reaches every corner of the county. The Clark County Local Board is dedicated to extending support to a diverse range of populations facing critical needs, including the following: families and individuals experiencing unemployment and financial instability, seniors on fixed incomes or experiencing added financial burdens, such as guardianship of grandchildren or other strains, physically or mentally disabled individuals and families, ensuring that support extends to every member facing unique challenges, veterans, Native Americans, transitional-aged youth, whether unaccompanied or just moving out of the foster care system, finding their way into independence. The Clark County Local Board's commitment is clear: to reach out to those who need it most, across a spectrum of diverse populations. The Clark County Local Board is on a mission to ensure equitable support for our community's pressing needs. The goal? To fund essential services such as food, shelter, rent/mortgage, and utility assistance, meeting the current needs of our community. Recognizing the challenge of limited funds available, the local board encourages efficiency. Each local recipient organization, LRO, is expected to leverage their buying power when acquiring necessary items. It's not just an expectation, it's a requirement. The local board mandates that each LRO provides evidence of achieving optimal buying power. To streamline this process, narrative questions have been seamlessly integrated into the application to capture the essential details. The Clark County Local Board is committed to making the most out of every available resource, ensuring that support reaches as far as possible. Now, let's delve into the vital aspect of emergency food and shelter program appropriations for Clark County. In Phase 41, Clark County has been awarded a crucial allocation of $1,488,327. This substantial fund is earmarked to make a meaningful impact on our community. The Clark County Local Board stands committed to fairness and transparency. When it comes to judging applications, they will employ a common and consistent criterion, ensuring that each application is evaluated on an equal footing. This approach reflects the local board's dedication to making informed decisions that align with the overarching goals of the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Let's go over eligible expenditures within the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP. Firstly, EFSP funds cannot be used for emergency assistance resulting directly from a disaster situation, such as a flood, fire, or act of nature. The program operates as a needs-based initiative, and clients must qualify to receive assistance. Funds are designated exclusively for residents and transients within Clark County. Agencies must expend EFSP dollars continuously. It cannot be divided into a monthly budget. Dollars must be utilized consistently to meet the ongoing demand and needs in Clark County. Failure to spend funds in a timely or proper manner will result in reallocation to another agency. The local board retains the right to audit an agency's service delivery at any time, including site visits, ensuring accountability. It's important to note that funds may not be used for administrative expenses to administer the EFSP program. Any ineligible expenses discovered during the program phase or final report process may necessitate repayment to the National Board. Understanding and adhering to these expenditure guidelines ensures the responsible and effective use of EFSP funds in serving the community. Let's dive into the eligibility criteria for agencies participating in the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. All agencies must have a Federal Employer Identification Number and Unique Entity Identifier, UEI. Organizations must have 501(c)(3) status or utilize a fiscal agent's Federal Employer Identification Number and provide the agreement between agencies. Must have a volunteer board of directors. The commitment to non-discrimination is paramount. Agencies must practice non-discrimination in service provision and should not require religious participation. Importantly, agencies must submit a copy of their non-discrimination policy and materials. The eligibility criteria are designed to ensure a fair and inclusive participation process, reflecting the values of the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Agencies' eligibility is also contingent on the submission of audits. All applicants are required to submit an audit. There are 3 options for compliance. The first option is the A-133 audit. This is applicable for organizations that expended $750,000 or more in the previous year in federal awards. Such organizations shall have a single or program-specific audit, specifically the A-133 audit conducted for that year. The second option is audited financials. Agencies with a revenue falling between $200,000 to $749,999 must submit financial statements audited by a certified public accountant, CPA. The third option involves annual certified financial statements, ACFS. Agencies with revenue less than $199,999 must submit an ACFS. Additionally, they are required to include their IRS-stamped copy of the most recent IRS 990 form with their application. In addition to the specified criteria, agencies must adhere to several important requirements. Firstly, agencies are mandated to have a comprehensive disaster recovery plan in place. It is imperative to maintain documentation for 3 years after the conclusion of each phase, encompassing final reports and all financial documentation. Services provided by agencies must align with the intent of the program, focusing on food, utility, and/or shelter services. Eligible agencies must operate with a valid checking account and employ appropriate accounting systems. It's crucial to note that EFSP funds should be used to supplement existing food and shelter programs. However, these funds cannot be utilized to supplement income for assets managed, such as housing properties. Moreover, eligible agencies must be listed in Nevada 211, ensuring a centralized and accessible network of resources for the community. These additional requirements are designed to ensure the effective and responsible utilization of Emergency Food and Shelter Program funds, contributing to the program's overarching goals. Now that we've covered agency eligibility, let's delve into the responsibilities of local recipient organizations, LROs, within the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, EFSP. EFSP comprises several program categories assisting Clark County. Agencies have the opportunity to receive funds for food services, which may include served meals. In the served meals category, designed for mass feeding facilities, agencies have 2 options for eligible costs. It's important to note that the LRO must choose only one method for the entire spending phase. Option 1 is direct costs, allowing agencies to use EFSP funds to purchase food items and supplies essential for preparing meals on site in a mass feeding facility. The second option for the served meals category is a per diem allowance. Agencies can use this allowance to cover operational costs and direct expenditures, providing a per meal allowance of exactly $3 per meal. Understanding and adhering to these options ensures clarity and consistency in the utilization of EFSP funds for the benefit of eligible clients in Clark County. The other food category is designated to empower agencies, such as food pantries/banks, to use EFSP funds for the purchase of food items, food vouchers, and food gift cards, facilitating the feeding of eligible clients. Within the Shelter Assistance Program category, there are three subcategories: mass shelter, other shelter, commonly known as hotel/motel, and rent/mortgage assistance. The mass shelter category enables providers to offer on-site housing for clients, and agencies have two options for eligible costs: direct costs and per diem allowance. It's mandatory to choose and stick to one method throughout the entire spending phase. Under direct costs, agencies can use EFSP funds to purchase essential supplies for sheltering individuals in a mass shelter. The per diem allowance option allows agencies to cover operational costs and direct expenditures, with the local board approving a rate of $12.50 per person. Understanding these options ensures efficient utilization of EFSP funds for shelter assistance, benefiting eligible clients in need. In the other shelter category, agencies can offer off-site emergency housing for clients. However, agencies are not allowed to operate as vendors for themselves or other LROs, and self-billing is ineligible with EFSP funding. Moving on to rent/mortgage assistance, this category allows agencies to pay the rent or mortgage for qualifying clients. The utilities category enables agencies to use EFSP funds to pay a past due bill for both metered, electric, gas, water, and non-metered, propane, firewood, coal, utility bills for qualifying clients. This provision ensures targeted assistance in addressing urgent utility needs for those in need. The Clark County Local Board has implemented a structured application process to facilitate the submission of applications from qualified agencies. It's imperative that applications meet all the program requirements outlined in the eligibility checklist and include all necessary documentation. Applications that fall short of these requirements will not be accepted or reviewed. No exceptions will be made. All requests for proposals, RFPs, must be submitted through SurveyMonkey by the strict deadline of February 23, 2024, at 5 p.m. There will be no extensions granted for this deadline. Even if you've previously submitted attachments for other programs or funding processes at United Way of Southern Nevada, you must still attach the requested items to the EFSP application. EFSP operates independently and is not funded by United Way of Southern Nevada, therefore, all materials are treated separately. Ensuring compliance with these guidelines guarantees an orderly and fair evaluation process for all qualified agencies seeking to participate in the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. Agencies have the option to submit multiple applications, with each application being able to request funds for more than one program within a category, up to a maximum of 3 applications. However, it's crucial to submit a separate application for each category of service. For instance, agencies can submit an application for food, pantry/food bank, other meals, served meals, or shelter, rent/mortgage, hotel/motel, mass shelter, or utilities. This streamlined approach ensures clarity and efficiency in the application process, allowing agencies to effectively allocate resources across different service categories as needed. A quick reminder, agencies have the flexibility to submit multiple applications, and each application can request funds for more than one program within a category. However, agencies are limited to submitting a maximum of 3 applications. It's crucial to note that agencies must not request funds from EFSP for more than 50% of their program budget. Application materials, available for reference, can be found on the United Way of Southern Nevada website at uwsn.org/EFSP. It's important to note that these materials are for reference use only. All applications must be submitted through SurveyMonkey Apply. Ensure your submission aligns with the specified platform for a seamless application process. This is an example of the Request for Proposals (RFP) budget form. In Section A, Program Category, use the drop-down menu to select the funding category for this budget, like Shelter Service if applying for shelter. Under Type of Assistance, list subcategories such as Mass Shelter, Hotel/Motel, and Rent/Mortgage. You don't have to request funding in all categories to apply. The Unit of Service tab will self-populate based on your responses. The total program budget is the overall budget for that specific service, as shown in the example with separate program budgets for all subcategories. In Section C, find your total program category budget, total program category EFSP request, and the percentage of program funded by EFSP. Remember, your EFSP fund request must not exceed 50% of your program's total budget. Ensure accuracy in completing this form for a successful application process. All key information is contained within the application, and details on how to submit can be found on SurveyMonkey Apply. Every agency is required to provide budget spreadsheets, audited financials, a board roster, and a 990 form. When answering application questions, prioritize clarity and conciseness. Grant reviewers will thoroughly read and rate each application. Each submission has the potential for a total score of 100, emphasizing the importance of clear and concise responses in the application process. All requests for proposals, RFPs, must be submitted online through SurveyMonkey Apply by the deadline of February 23, 2024. Please note there will be no extension for the deadline. RFPs sent to other email addresses at United Way of Southern Nevada, hand-delivered or mailed will not be accepted. Agencies are encouraged to submit their RFPs before the deadline, understanding that they will not be reviewed until after the deadline when all RFPs have been received. This ensures a fair and systematic evaluation process for all submissions. When applying for EFSP Phase 41, focus on your agency's capacity to meet guidelines rather than the funding pool amount. Visit UWSN.SMApply.org, log in, or create an account and verify via email. Complete the eligibility form using the passcode Clark County EFSP 41. Ensure you have all necessary documents and submit your proposal before the non-extendable deadline. We recommend submitting at least 24 hours in advance for potential technical issues. Contact EFSP at uwsn.org for any questions. For an optimal SurveyMonkey Apply experience, use Google Chrome. The grant period spans from October 1, 2022 to December 31, 2024. All applications must be submitted by Friday, February 23, 2024, at 5 p.m. Ensure timely submission to be considered for this grant period. Recapping important details, this application webinar will be accessible until February 23, 2024. Agencies are allowed one application per category, with a total of up to 3. The online submission deadline is February 23 at 11:59 p.m. Remember, all RFPs/applications must be submitted via SurveyMonkey Apply. No other form of submission will be accepted. Access the EFSP application through this SurveyMonkey Apply link. Use the password Clark County EFSP 41 to proceed. Thank you for your interest in applying for EFSP funding and contributing to the Southern Nevada community. For technical assistance, email efsp@uwsn.org. For EFSP national information, visit www.efsp.unitedway.org. Your dedication is appreciated.